What's going on, you guys? This is my part one to a new build that I'm doing. It's a S13 coupe that I'm going to be doing a 1UZ swap into, which isn't very commonly done. And this is with a day that we moved the car from its spot that's been sitting for the better part of a year. I picked up this other S13 hatch as a parts car off of a friend of mine for a pretty good deal. Fortunately, like everybody else seems to do, they cut the core support out. And in every other 240 fashion, it absolutely reeks inside, smells like rat piss, etc. It has some good bare bones in it, though. I don't know what exactly the build plan for this thing was, but it also has a crackless dash, so got my money's worth out of it already just with that. Yeah, and we used the S13, my other S13 hatch, to pull it from its spot around in almost into the front yard with a tow strap, and then brought it. You see the tire marks there, to bring it into the driveway and then push the coupe into the garage the rest of the way. But that car's a trooper. Once we got the coupe into the garage, it was time to pull the swap out and prep it for this 1UZ that I have on my engine stand, looking all nice and pretty. So let's get started. Tink. Girlfriend got a small clip of me doing the last little bits to prep for when we were pulling the motor out, which was sold like the next day. I unbolted the fenders because I'm doing a Sylvia front end on it. And after I got the fenders pulled off, I saw that the chassis harness had some stuff on it, and this spaghetti wiring mess was discovered underneath some electrical tape. So that added some time, but I got it all figured out. Ended up actually clipping the wires, soldering them back together properly, and then running, heat shrink over, and then separating the wires for the ones that I repaired in the harness, and then loop them into place where they should be when you normally lower these cars. Some people still to this day don't know that that's a problem because they run in the fender well, unfortunately. And then I got these Sylvia fenders off of somebody for like $80 on Marketplace, which is a pretty good deal, being how they're not cracked and broken all the hell. Got the bay halfway ran with wiring, which is nice. Windows still busted out. I already got one for that. And a little bit look in the interior on this thing. The dash is cracked all to hell. There's extra wiring for stuff in there. It's just gross. But this 1UZ, I've already done a full refresh on, and I'm going to be using the Collins adapter kit. It's about the only most plug and play that I've seen. I got the adapter plate put on a KA bell housing already, and you can see that I've already marked where I'm going to need to notch the bell housing. And the bell housing is separated because I originally bought this transmission here, which didn't come with a bell housing and needed to be rebuilt. But this car came with a KA transmission in it, so I didn't need to do that anyway. But that's all right. I also preemptively went through the harness and got rid of this hard plastic that's like this that protects these wires for the engine harness that Toyota's notorious for. I went through the ones that are on the back that make it like super stiff to deal with and just electrical tape around them. They're not going to be in anywhere that's like super hot or anything like that, so that should be just fine. What you guys just saw, this being first part of the 1UZ S13 little build series that I'm doing. I have done a lot of research, and I always do before I dive into anything. I've done a lot of research on this swap, and there are videos and reviews, and it's always driving my 1UZ S13 or driving my 1UZ swap to this, that, the other. There's reviews of, my 1UZ S13 running, but nobody's ever made content that I can find of what exactly went into it. Like, exactly went into it. There's people that are like, oh yeah, man, bought the Collins kit, and then what? Was there any issues with it? And then maybe 2 or 3 videos down the line, like, oh yeah, there were some problems, but they don't tell you what the problems were. They don't tell you, you had to shave this, you needed to notch this, you needed to do this, that, the other. Also, the biggest thing that I have found a lack of is wiring knowledge. A lot of people that I've seen in forums or whatnot say you need 6 wires to have power, like 2 are switched with ignition and the other 4 are like a battery positive. Which pinout? Which ECU? Because unfortunately, with LS400s and 1UZs, there's like 4 different ECUs, and they all have different pinouts.
Which do you need? Do you need the chassis side plug? Do you need that to be able to run it, or can I run it off of the the 3 or 4 plugs that go to just the engine itself? Like there's those questions that I personally have, and I know some other people have had too, and I'm trying to bring to light that information to try to make this swap one knowledge, like bring knowledge to the table for people to do it, because the 1UZ is a fantastic engine. It's a compact V8 4 liter that's the length of, like, say, a stock K8, not exactly, but they're close. And then using the quote unquote Collins kit, you're supposed to be able to adapt a K8 transmission, which is what I'm doing. Adapt a K8 transmission to a 1UZ, and it leaves the transmission in the stock location, so you don't have to have a driveline made. That's pretty cool. I think that's one of the big selling points for me with going with the Collins setup. But I'm trying to bring to light that information, and like the actual build process of what it takes, because a lot of the videos that I've seen of people, it's once again, it's the reviews, it's the me driving, blah blah blah, but not like the here's what it actually took to get it done. And I think that's also a big reason why this swap isn't as done as common. And I think, and I've told friends of mine before, like, mark my words, that this is going to become the new K series. I think the new JZ swap, the new K series, because drift guys, I'm one of them. We're cheap. We like to be cheap. We like to try to have as much fun as possible for the least amount of dollar, because God knows everything is skyrocketed in price. And the cheapest swap that I can think of, because even KAs nowadays, especially where I live in Oregon, KA swaps are like $1,000 plus for a factory Nissan motor to go back into a factory chassis. Ridiculous. When I bought a 1UZ for $500 on Ninja Stand, I spent $600 in gaskets and seals and all that fun stuff doing a full refresh. And I pulled the valve covers, I went through the head and made sure everything was all good to go. Resealed the oil pans with that Toyota FIPG. Like, I'm a stickler when it comes to gaskets and seals, sticking with OEM stuff, because they last the longest and they're the best quality. So that's me. I mean, you can go to O'Reilly's and get a gasket kit for LS400 and do your thing if you really wanted to. But anyway, so this being part one, of me trying to get the knowledge out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of a video that I did of, just the bits and pieces of what it took to get at least the chassis out of the garage. And mind you, I am doing all this in a single car garage. This is project number 3 that I've done here in the garage. The first one being my other S13 coupe that's got the 1JZ in it, which is a pretty plug and play swap, especially with how good the aftermarket scene is for that nowadays. And then my GX100 JZ swap. So I did that one. I didn't really document that one at all, but I'm trying to help with, like I said, get the information out there for people. So if you guys even stuck around this long, give the video a like. You want to let me know something, maybe you know something and I don't about 1UZs, or maybe feel like you pass on information, feel free to comment and give me a follow. That'd be great. Much appreciated. You guys have a good one.